All right, guys, we're going to start in a child's pose position. So widen your knees a little bit wider than hip width and sink back onto your feet and take some gentle, deep breaths. As you inhale, fill the lungs completely and take your time with the exhale. Let's take both hands and walk them to the right side. As far as you want to go, it doesn't have to be super deep. It could be a couple of inches to the right. You just want to feel a really gentle stretch along the left side body and the left shoulder. You can clasp the hands if you want a more intense stretch, or just place the left hand on top of the right. And gently we'll come out of this stretch, just walking the hands to the opposite side, the left side, and placing the right hand on top of the left. Continue to breathe deeply throughout the practice, taking those luxurious inhales and elevating exhales. As we exit this position, simply walk the hands to the center of the mat and come up onto hands and knees. You can tuck the toes here for a little bit of extra support, and we're going to take some wide hip circles to the right, going from front to back, leaning forward to get some forward movement in there over the wrists, and then switch sides, big circles to the left and all the way back to the heels. Let's bring that motion to a close, and we'll take some cat-cows. Drop the belly, reach up with the chest as we inhale, and as you exhale, push the floor away, round the spine. Take another deep inhale, drop the belly, lift the chest. Exhale, push the floor away. You can take these as fast or as slow as you want. We're just waking up the spine here. Let's bring the spine to a neutral position and walk the hands a few inches forward. We'll drop the shoulders, keeping the hips stacked above the knees, and sink the face down. You can rest either the chin or the forehead on the floor here, allowing the front half of the body to relax completely. And remembering, of course, to breathe. I feel like the deeper I breathe, the deeper I can get into the stretch, the more my muscles relax. As we exit this posture, let's slide the hands back towards the body, stack the shoulders over the wrists, hips over the knees. Inhale the right arm up, and let's twist to thread the needle. This is a deep shoulder stretch. You should be resting the shoulder, the knees, and the head on the floor. If you are more advanced and you'd like to take a bind, you can always do that. You know what to do here. And to exit this posture, we'll take the left hand and push ourselves back up. Inhale deep, reach the left arm up and twist on the other side. This is a good time to check in on your breath. Are we breathing? Sometimes when we are so focused on getting the posture right, we forget to breathe. Just remember to take those big inhales and exhales. And as we exit this posture, push yourself up with your right hand, come back into that all fours position and go into sunbird. Let's kick that left leg back and hold. Right arm forward and hold. This is great for the core. A little bit of balance. If you feel super solid in this posture, we can add a little balance challenge here. So taking that left leg out to the left, right arm out to the right simultaneously, just challenging the balance a little bit here, adding a little bit of dynamic movement to the flow. Of course, if you want to stay static, that is an option too. This is challenging enough on its own. Let's bring that motion to a close and switch to the other side. Right leg back, left arm forward. Before we add any movement, let's ground into that left knee, into the right hand, and then we can add a little bit of movement here. It's always fun to play. If you want to make your practice a little more playful, just adding those dynamic movements can be so fun. As we bring that motion to a close, we'll return to an all fours position and we'll take some hip circles on the right first. So big dramatic circles, as if you're drawing a circle in the sky with your knee. One way from front to back, and then the other way from back to front, switching, lubricating those hips. Now let's switch sides and draw those big dramatic circles on the left side, going from front to back a few times, and then switching and making those circles from back to front. And as we exit this motion, let's tuck the toes. We're going to get into our calves a little bit and lean back on the toes. Now, this might be pretty intense for you. If you want to stay here, I invite you to stay here. If you want a little bit more intensity, you can sit right up on those toes, gather the knees, raise them if you need a toe balance challenge. I got you, girl. Let's lift those arms. I'm struggling to balance today, so I'm going to leave my hands on the floor. And we can relax and sit with a flat foot. Let's alternate between a toe sit and relax. Sitting on a flat foot. We'll alternate and move through that motion a few times. Again, if it's too intense for you to sit up to raise the knees, don't worry about it. Just flex those toes and stretch the calves as much. We don't want any pain. And now we get to throw a huge adult-sized tantrum and pat those feet on the floor, just releasing any energy. We'll come back to all fours, spread the knees a little wide, tuck those toes again, and we'll crawl back. This time, we're going to push ourselves into a squat position, round the back, and lean over. Your squat might not be this deep. If it's not and you can't reach the floor with your hands, it's no worries. You can sit up in the squat position as well with a flat back. This is what we're aiming to do, reaching forward and stretching the back, as well as getting a nice deep squat, a hip opener. If you'd like to stretch the upper body and open up a little bit here, you can place the right hand on the inside of the right leg, place it on the floor, reach that left arm up over the head, and switch sides, getting a nice side body stretch here. Let's walk those hands slowly forward. Drop the knees to the floor again. Throw that little tantrum with your feet. We're going to press up into a down dog, but we won't be here for long. Just aim to make a triangle shape out of your body, butt to the ceiling. You can walk the dog if you would like. Pedal out the feet and lift that right leg. We are going to connect the right knee to the right elbow. Try to get the right shin parallel with the front of the mat and make sure the left leg is straight back. Offer your chest to the sky, opening up here and just sinking into those hips. You don't want to be dumping into really either side at this time. You want it to be pretty even. And if you feel comfortable dropping the head, you can do so at this time. As we exit this posture, push up, and you can just sit onto the right hip, swing your legs around, and push back up into a downward facing dog. We won't be here for long. Again, just enough to kick that left leg up, connect the left knee with the left elbow, and sink into our pigeon posture. Again, offering our chest to the sky and staying here for just a moment or for the entirety of the posture. If you would like to rest on your elbows and sink down, let your head hang heavy, you can do that too. And as we continue to breathe deeply, we can bring any awareness to any tension, especially in the jaw or the face right now. Sometimes when we open our hips, the jaw likes to clench. And let's exit the pigeon posture by pressing up, swinging ourselves back into an all fours position. And we'll widen the knees a little bit wider than the hips. It's going to look different for everybody. I feel really comfortable at this level of width. We want to make sure our hip is in line with the knee in line with the hip, not forward or back. And then we'll just gently sway from front to back. If you want to stay in static right here, that's fine too. This can be a pretty intense posture for some, so sometimes just letting gravity do its work can feel really yummy. And to exit this posture, we'll push into the elbows and shimmy those knees close in. We'll want to keep them a little bit wider than hips, and we'll sink back into that child's pose where we began the practice today. This is where we check in with our body and feel any differences from how we began the class. Maybe, hopefully, your hips are a little more open. If you'd like one last stretch here, I love to clasp my hands together and just bring them behind the neck. Here, it's a little tricep stretch, and it can be so nourishing and soothing in a child's pose. And let's let it all go with a big sigh. Take inventory of all of the parts and pieces that we moved today, that we stretched, activated, lubricated. And remember to take these small moments out of the day, even if it's just 15 minutes, to take care of your glorious body. Thank you guys so much for practicing with me today. Namaste.